honestly, I used to not be able to stand Boyd K. Packer, and some of his quotes I just thought were super cringe. Like what he said about like the feminists and the intellectuals and the LGBTQIA lobby and everything like that. I used to think Boyd K. Packer was totally cringe. But when they come up with these accusations like they're deleting comments, I kind of see where this guy was coming from.
This is gonna be the best day ever. This is gonna be the best day ever. Wake up.
Hey guys, Cardinal is here with WardRadio, and we are going to address this. I can't even believe I'm saying this. The attack that the church is deleting comments on its Instagram profile from tried and true, stunning and brave social justice warriors. This controversy started, like many controversies do, on Instagram and or TikTok. Here, I got all of a sudden this TikTok came up my feed. I didn't even know I subscribed to this guy named Andy Newman, but you know, he's got the pride flag and the American flag and the trans flag in the bio, so we all know what he's about. And he's followed by some boys here, LDS Footnotes, and my boy Jim Bennett. So he probably put something funny up. You know, he probably put something, I don't know, some hilarious meme, and I subscribed to him a while ago. But he makes an accusation here that's pretty insane. Says the church didn't just delete thousands of comments on this post. They're actively deleting the new comments live. Comments aren't lasting longer than a few minutes currently. The church has zero interest in women's voices. Zero interest in women's voices. Okay, well, that's a soundbite that it's one of those woke sound bites that are just meant to shame people who aren't used to them already into just doing what the progressive person wants. At the same time, that's a pretty intense accusation. On this channel, you know, we went after an apologetic organization for erasing Quaker off some thumbnails. So I wanted to look into this and say, okay, is what homeboy Andy Newman is saying here, does this actually carry some water, or is it a bunch of garbage? So I looked into this controversy, and this is the controversy. Go to Instagram, and if you go to the official site of the Church of Jesus Christ with a whopping 1.2 million followers, good job, guys, you come across this post right here. And in this post, you know, they got one of their paintings that's been through correlation like everything else. And it's the most neutered, non-offensive, benign thing that can be posted on female issues, other than you know, they couldn't find something to criticize in the picture because the picture was very diverse. So they just moved on to the content. When they couldn't find something in the content, they just started making stuff up. Okay. Grasping at straws. Well, the straw that's getting grasped at is somebody saying, oh, you know what? They're deleting comments. Well, first off, oh yeah, I'm sure there were comments that are wholly appropriate and great that loving people were saying about the church, or maybe they were rabid and cruel woke scolds and anti-Mormons who are angry they didn't get to say what they wanted to say and have been so used to preferential treatment that when they all of a sudden get fair treatment, they don't know what to do with it. So which one of the two is it? Are they victims, or are they villains just finally getting put in their place? Well, let's go look. So I first scroll down, I look at the comments, and you know, here's some people I follow, I guess, saying the usual stuff. Oh, this is great. Oh, the church is empowering for me. Oh, there's Kristen Walker-Smith. Oh, there's the Haley Clark. There's all these other people. It's totally awesome. Oh, here's one. Dr. Julie Hanks. What's she got to say? The pain of thousands of women deleted like that? Seriously? ? More proof of the problem of equality. Tragic. Okay, that is a wildly irresponsible comment, Dr. Julie Hanks. And we can get into that later. But that accusation has some pepper behind it. Okay? So now I've read two accusations from, you know, some prominent figures here. I mean, Dr. Julie Hanks is definitely a prominent figure, that the church is deleting comments. One of them says they are doing it in real time, like Church of Scientology stuff. And I've really come to learn, guys, that you can almost tell or not tell whether an accusation is realistic by whether or not it follows those first 30 rules of anti-Mormons. And anti-Mormons all the time are trying to co-opt other churches' scandals and adopt them into our own, so they can hopefully co-opt the animosity that the public has about that scandal, whether it's the Catholic abuse scandal or whether it's the sequester scandal at the Church of Scientology or the information control scandal over there. Whatever the scandal is, okay, the prosperity gospel in the Midwest, or I don't know, something that happened to Joel Osteen, or else they're going to accuse Joel Osteen of. They're always trying to co-opt those scandals. So I'm going to teach you guys how to walk through this. Okay, first you have to look at the claim. And then just look at the claim first off on its face value and see if, in your experience, it holds water. Okay. I have personally seen, as a YouTuber, thousands of comments. I get accused of this all the time, and I'm practically a free speech purist. However, some of the more intellectually honest anti-Mormons that participate in our live streams at least have had the intellectual consistency and integrity to admit that we do not erase comments. I can count the comments that I've controlled or deleted on like my left hand, and it's usually because it has to do with something wildly egregious. The posting of pornography being an obvious one. Generally wild and excessive use of just truly beyond the pale vulgarities. Links will oftentimes get filtered out by algorithms, and so will spamming. If you think you had a really, really funny answer for one comment and then you just copy and paste it into another thread on that same video, then YouTube, where we operate predominantly, will filter it out. And so, speaking of algorithms, the true nature of this frustration is most likely algorithmic. And I speak to this from a point of authority on somebody that does YouTubing all the time. I also actually called the church office building. I actually did my due diligence, and I meandered through the phone tree. I got a hold of the right person, and they did inform me they do indeed have staff that monitors this. As I said earlier, take the claim on face value. And I actually didn't believe the claim because it's hard for me to believe that the church be competent enough to be monitoring in real time. I think if the church were as wildly competent as these accusations make them out to be, they wouldn't be posting so much cringe so often. We wouldn't get that announcement for the age group progression memo that we got a couple of weeks ago from Young Men Worldwide. But anyway, apparently I found out there is a small number of people that do their best to try and provide moderation for all of the social media accounts. This person could not find anything on the Facebook account that had been moderated, and did say the general rule of thumb that they operate under for controlling the comment section and so on and so forth is the following. Links, abusive languages, or images, regardless of type, which I find to be wholly consistent with the algorithms over here on YouTube. Generally, if you want to try and post a picture to strengthen your argument, YouTube does not allow that comment. In fact, if you actually have a YouTube account, you actually have a YouTube channel, you can go look at it. If you've ever posted a video, there's actually two sections. You can look at the active posts, by order of age, by order of membership, so on and so forth. Or you can also look at the section called Held for Review, in which the algorithms have flagged an aspect of that comment that, as a robotic algorithm, it is chosen to be held for review and not posted until you accept it. So there's algorithms that filter your comments first. So our first boy here, Andy Newman, when he talks about having a comment withheld within a minute, you're either looking at an Instagram profile so well staffed that within 30 seconds, somebody saw it, read it, and took it down, judged it as unworthy and unfit, and took it down, which is something so wildly draconian. I can't believe anybody believes it. And I have to compare that thought process, all right, with the thousands of comments I've seen all over the church's websites. Wherever fine books are sold, like they say in commercials, wherever the comment section exists and there's church material, there are just hundreds of toxic and cruel Exmo, anti-Mormon, and evangelical trolls who are dogging the church in the comments. And the other reason why I say you have to take it on face value, and 90% of the time you can just dismiss their claims with some basic critical thinking, okay, is I now actually, I don't call out, but I call into question the analysis of Julie Hanks. I mean, I'll put this back up on the screen. She literally said the pain of thousands of women just deleted like that. More proof of the problem of inequality. So this is straight misogyny. This is patriarchy and horses, as they say in Barbie. Well, my question is, if they were really doing that, Dr. Hanks, why didn't they filter out your comment? I mean, let's just be honest here. If they're filtering out negative comments, why didn't they delete yours? And all these other people that say continuing to delete comments shows how you feel. Oh, people are saying that the comments aren't being deleted, so on and so forth, yada, yada, this and that. Which brings me to just the conclusion of this. Okay. I've spoken to people in the church office building. They deny deleting comments. There's no real history of deleting comments. But do you know what there is a history of for the uninitiated? Massive algorithmic problems with platforms whose codes are constantly changing. Ask anybody who's a YouTuber, anybody who makes money, whose paycheck depends upon social media, okay? Ask anybody who is got a social media passion project that they're really involved in. Ask anybody who's just an enthusiast, who's just enthusiastic about social media, and you will hear ad nauseum, tale after tale of platform-wide coding errors that have cost people paychecks, that have cost people monetization, both accidental and sometimes purposeful, frustrating flagging of videos. There was one change made to the YouTube code algorithm once that disallowed references to the alt-right that started flagging all of the historical World War II channels because guess what? Some of those terminologies overlay, and there were people whose channels were destroyed by the stroke of an enter button on a coder's keyboard somewhere over at YouTube. So you have to ask yourself, this is an exercise in critical thinking, folks. This is an exercise in critical thinking, okay? Before I get to the actual official answer here, I want you to come to this answer yourself by using your critical thinking skills, okay? Do you think that it's really a church that is deleting thousands of comments of women overnight? A church whose social media profile is so well staffed by such evil people that they're censoring the identity of anybody who dare disrespect their one social media post. Do you think that's what's going on? Or do you think maybe could just be a YouTube issue, could just be an Instagram issue, could just be a Facebook issue? You know, that happens. So some other people have opined. Now we've spoken about what the haters have said. Now we're gonna just see what some people have come up with, and this was hilarious. This was one of the first explanations I saw, and we're gonna see if this actually carries any water. Our boys over at Scripture Plus, actually no, our girl over at Scripture Plus. How fitting! This is great. I couldn't have planned this better myself. Over here at Scripture Plus, they offer the following explanation. Let's see if it carries any water.
And so much attention. There are more comments on here than I've seen on maybe any other post from the church there were a lot of people upset that women in the church felt empowered. But we need to talk about the church's comment moderation on this one. They are not deleting comments, and I can prove it.
Oh, okay. So first off, the feminists, it's not enough that there's a female empowerment post, and this is proof that the so-called feminists, like, I'm sorry, but at this point, I used to not be able to stand Boyd K. Packer. Like, honestly, I used to not be able to stand Boyd K. Packer. And some of his quotes I just thought were super cringe. Like what he said about the feminists and the intellectuals and the LGBTQIA lobby and everything like that. I used to think Boyd K. Packer was totally cringe. But when they come up with these accusations like, they're deleting comments, I kind of see where this guy was coming from. I'm coming around on Boyd K. Packer because these people cannot behave rationally. So let's let them continue with Scripture Plus.
After thousands of comments, the church made a pinned comment saying, hey, thanks for all of your input. We are listening. We are going to be sharing your comments with church leaders. But then immediately people were like, you are deleting my comment, though.
By the way, is that not such a typical church office boomer response? Oh, thank you for your commentary that's told us how evil and bad and bigoted and hateful and evil we are. Like, oh yeah, we're going to be sharing this with church leaders and your voice matters. And they constantly bend over so backwards for these woke scold haters. Okay, that the woke scold haters have gotten so used to preferential treatment that when all of a sudden they get regular normal treatment, algorithmic treatment from the platform itself that has nothing to do with the church, they call it persecution. This is Thomas Sowell right here. Thomas Sowell literally said, there's people in this country that have gotten so used to preferential treatment that when they get equal treatment, they call it inequality. Okay, so let's just see what she offers up as her explanation.
Oh, the church responded with a story on their Instagram saying, yeah, the timing really sucks on this one, but we promise we are not deleting comments intentionally. This is a platform-wide issue, and they're right. I first noticed this glitch on our own podcast, Church History Matters, this morning, where on Instagram, some of these reels had done really well, but the comments were outputting 000. If you even go to major brands like Coca-Cola, same thing. And of course, when you go to Twitter, Instagram down is trending. So it's clear Instagram is dealing with some kind of glitch or bug or system-wide problem this morning when it comes to the comments. So regardless of how you feel about the actual post itself, I don't think the church is intentionally deleting these comments.
Wow, what do you know? Instagram down is trending on Twitter. Wow. Now, here's my question. Will we see a retraction from Andy Newman? Will we see an apology from Dr. Julie Hanks? Will all of these woke scolds, will all of these people who accuse the church, frankly, of George Orwell 1984 crap, will they retract this? Will it get into their heads that maybe all of this harm you're barking about, maybe all this unsafe environment that you're barking about, maybe all of this ill treatment and abuse that you're talking about isn't real? And maybe there's a lot of just well-intentioned good people who are trying to do their best. They're frankly just sick and tired of you calling them part of some big, massive, evil conspiracy. And maybe you're all just living up to some massively negative stereotype. Like, can we just all stop living up to every single negative stereotype? Like when Neil A. Maxwell said, you can leave the church, but you can't leave it alone? Or that there's progmos out there who are political progressives first, who hate the patriarchy and hate the church and hate any organized body of power first and foremost, and will then Trojan horse that progressivism and attack the church by trying to use its own desire to be ecumenical and kind and inclusive of all people on its social media platforms that actually have something to say, not just some psycho picture to post, not the porn that they're constantly trying to post on our channel. If I had $1 for every time somebody thought they were funny by, posting some of those not safe for work pictures, all right, in our comment section, I'd have a lot of money, to say the least. So anyway, I have to tell you, I believe the person that I talked to in the church office building. I got to tell you, my personal experience is the exact opposite. I actually think the church bends over backwards in order to try and be inclusive of all viewpoints, and out of fear of this exact same nonsense, okay? Especially the older staffers in the church office building, let things fly that none of these people would let fly in any of their forums. Literally, go on Ex-Mormon subreddit right now and just like post, actually, I think the church isn't so bad and I had a good experience there. Or something like that. You will get downvoted and eliminated that minute. So not only is this cruel hypocrisy, but it's not based in reality. And I just have to tell you, in my personal opinion, this is so demonstrative of why, if you can't trust what they say about what happens in 2024, and if what they're saying is that you do not matter because you are a woman and the church hates women in 2024, and they're using this Instagram post and an obvious Instagram glitch, if they're using an Instagram glitch to try and tell you that you are not welcome in our church as a woman, what does that say about them? What does that say about what you may think the church thinks about women? It means that the narrative is getting crafted by cruel and hateful people who are not choosing to have integrity or base their observations and their commentary in facts, science, all this other stuff that they claim to espouse. It means that they will grip onto anything that might get traction for as long as it has traction until they move on to the next thing. So anyway, this is the oddest debunking I've done in a really long time. I can't believe people believe this stuff, but here we've seen in real time, okay, that the church is not deleting comments. You have to go so far beyond the pale of what anybody in polite society would say is inappropriate for the church to take your comment down. Frankly, I think because they're kind of pansies. All right. Like I wish they'd actually police more stuff. There's a part of me that kind of wishes they would. Right. But that actually fights my kind of free speech purist side of me. So I actually appreciate the church erring on the side of transparency, which they always do. And I appreciate it. So anyway, I don't know, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you feel your comment was censored? Do you feel Dr. Julie Hanks, the Andy Newmans of this world, don't go put them on blast. All right. I don't need you guys putting them on blast. There's zero call to action here. Okay. I'm calling out the idea of really, really bad and negative accusations against your fellow man from an unproven position. All right. And the toxic nature of that. Okay. I'm calling out the idea of anti-Mormon toxicity, okay? And the idea of woke scold and progressive toxicity, okay? Not calling out the individual here, so just chill out. But anyway, I do call into question the motivation of anybody that operates this way irresponsibly in cyberspace, especially those with very, very large followings, when even just 5 minutes of critical thinking don't hold muster. So anyway, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, for this and more, please check us out at WardRadio.com.
This is gonna be the best day ever. This is gonna be the best day ever. Wake up, top of the morning. The bacon is crispy, the coffee is pouring. My meditation is peeling an orange. The bank says I'm already scoring.